Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Radha, Madhava Radha, Madhava Radhe Radhe, Jaya Radha, Shama Sundar Radha, Shama Sundar Radhe Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय निताय गौरा हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Sindhu. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome you all. So today I will be taking the session because today's speaker is busy. Hare Krishna. So, by the time we will speak about what has happened yesterday, we recap on that so that others can also join. So who will let us know what was happening till now? Fourth canto, 24th chapter. So what is done till now? What is the name of the chapter? No?
Mataji, we were reading a Prajetas.
Yes.
And 1 second, I'll tell you. We were reading 4.24, 20th verse. Reply to the question of Vidura.
Okay.
And Rudra's instruction to Prajetas, descendant of Prithu Maharaj, you know.
Yeah.
And
so the chapter's name?
Yeah, chapter name.
This is the chanting by Lord Shiva. You know, okay, the song sung by Lord Shiva. Huh? Okay. So till now, what has been covered? So it says that great sage Maitreya, when he met Vijitashva. Who is Vijitashva?
Prithu Maharaj's son.
Very good. Thank you, Rohini. Yes, he happens to be the eldest son of Prithu Maharaj. Yeah. So what is Maitreya Muni trying to say here? Okay. So till now, whatever has happened, Maitreya Muni is trying to, speak to Vijiteshwara, who happens to be the eldest son of Prithu Maharaj. He's trying to say how this elder son of Prithu Maharaj, he was like his father, who became emperor. And after he became emperor, he gave all his younger brothers also, he assigned, who will do what. Then furthermore, we understand that Vijeshwara offered the eastern part of the world to one of his brother, who happens to be Hariksha. The southern part was given to Dumraksha. Western part was given to Vrika, and northern part was Dravina. Then further, we understand this Vijeshwara, who is pleased the king of heaven, Indra, and from him receives the title Antardhana. And his wife's name was Shikhandini. and he got 3 sons from his good wife. Now, why? What was that? So peculiar about that Indra got pleased with the Vijiteshwara and titled him Antadharana, because when Prithu Maharaj was doing his Ashwamedha Yagya, when the 99th Yagya was complete and the 100th Yagya was to happen, what was happening? We all have read this. What was happening?
Indra ran away with with offering, and that time the sun, instead of he didn't raise an alarm, and that's why Indra
Very
was.
good. Very good. Excellent. And that's the reason he gets the name as Antardhana. Why? Because whenever Indra took away the horse in disguise, and he has disguised himself as sage, as the Muni, as that whatever whatever disguise he had come, many a times Antardhana could understand that, yes, this is Indra, but he did not kill him because he knew that this is Indra who is playing. And that's the reason when he did not kill him, then Indra also understood that he has done this on purpose. He knew it, but he has not killed me. That's the reason he got this title as Antardhana. This Antardhana, had a wife named Havirdrani, who gave birth to 6 sons. This great sage Maitreya then, explains to Vidura, saying that this Haridvana's very powerful son named Barahishata was very expert in performing various kinds of fruitive sacrifices. He was also expert in practice of mystic yoga. And then he qualifies and becomes known as Prajapati. This Baharshita executed many sacrifices all over the world. Then it is said in the same chapter that henceforth known as Prachina Bhari was ordered by supreme demigod Brahma to marry his daughter of ocean named Chatadruti. Her bodily features were completely beautiful and was very young. She was decorated with proper garments. She came into the marriage arena and began circulating it. The fire god Agni became so attracted to her that he desired her company, exactly as he had formerly desired to enjoy Sukhi. While Shatrughna was, thus being married, the demon, the dinosaur of Gandharvaloka, great sage of Siddhaloka, the earthly planet and Nagaland, Nagalokas, although highly exalted, were all captivated by the tinkling of her anklets. King Prachinabhari married her. So we will dwell into all these points also. Prachinabhari begot 10 children in the womb of Shatadruti. All of them were equally endowed with religious degree, and all of them were known as prachetas. So these prachetas were ordered by their father to marry and beget children. They all entered the ocean and practiced austerity and penance for 10,000 years. Thus they worshipped the master of all austerities, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When all the sons of Prachinabhari left home to execute austerity, they met on the way Lord Shiva. Here Vidura is trying to say that, to Maitreya, that these Brahmana, why did Pracheta meet Lord Shiva? on the way. This was the question asked by Vidura to Maitreya. He wanted to understand what was that. They could have met anybody else, but why Shiva? And that's the time Vidura says that, it is very difficult for living entities engaged within this material world, within this material body, to have personal contact with any demigod, for that matter, for any celestial personalities. Then how could they interact with Lord Shiva? It says even great sages who have no material attachment do not contact him. Lord Shiva, the most powerful personality, he is second only to Lord Vishnu. He is self-sufficient, although he has nothing aspiring for in this material world. For the benefit of those in the material world, he is always busy engaging everyone. So that's a few questions that there is a discussion between Maitreya and Vidura. It says, because of their pious nature, all of the sons of Prachina Bhari very seriously accepted the words of their father with heart and soul. And with these words on their head, they went towards the west to execute their father's order. And yesterday's speaker has already dwelt from Shloka 20 to 26. This is about the envy where the Prachinabharis are going for their austerity, and why we are trying to describe where they are, what is the need of it. So this was till now the chapter, and now we begin from here. Okay. So let me start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuvetam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyavascha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vishnupadaya Bhutale Shrimati Namacharadani Kripapadani Gaurakata Damdaya Nagaram Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vishnupadaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswati Gaurvani Pachari Roshisham Shanti Mukham Karoti Vachalam Kripada Brahmananda. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Yeah, I like this. Krishnamurti Prabhu, your Ardhangini sitting next to you. But then how she will hear what we are speaking? Let her also hear. Prabhu, the way when
You could keep it on loudspeaker, he's sharing the...
Yeah, she can also, the sound vibration, Yeah.
Yes, I removed that, mother.
Wow, this is so nice. See, when the small child cries, whether it is a Malayali mother or a Tamil mother or a Kannada mother or a Christian mother, American mother, so-called, the child's cry is cry, and the mother has to attend. The mother will know because the child is from within her, isn't it? So we are speaking about the Supreme Lord and the Paramatma, as you know, in with our Atma, that Paramatma is there. So she will get conveyed everything. Namaskaram, Amma. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. So as we said, today I will be touching upon 3 shlokas. That is 26, 27, 28. Because the shlokas are huge. I just saw them. But we will try. Oh, that's so nice. That is the icing on the cake. He has given her the Kannada book. Wow, very nice. So let's see. Yeah, 27. Yes. So let me share the shlokas. Yes. Everybody can see my screen? Yeah. Rohini Mataji, you speak Tulu, I feel, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So,
Mataji,
yes.
if you don't mind, she will read the shloka.
Yes, I was just to say, because I saw that she has, the Kannada Lipi, and shlokas are irrespective whatever language it is. So she can, yeah. Okay, so I will say the shloka and she can repeat. It is 4th chapter, 24th, fourth canto, 24th chapter, 27th shloka. Shri Rudruvacha. Yudam Videshada Putra Veditam Vachikirshana
Putra Viditam Vaschikirchikirshitam Anugrahayam Badram Ayevam Vedarshanam Krutam.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
You have done, Krishnamurti Prabhu, the real life partner job.
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
This is what we need to do as wife or as husband, you know? Yes, nice, very good. So, who wants to read the translation in purport? Please come forward. Prabhu, you can read the translation in purport.
Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Shiva said, "You are all the sons of King Prachinabhari, and I wish all good fortune to you. I also know what you are going to do, and therefore I am visible to you, just to show my mercy upon you." Shall I read purport, Mataji?
Please.
Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. By these words, Lord Shiva indicates that what the princes were going to do was known to him. It is a fact that they were going to worship Lord Vishnu by severe austerities and penances. Knowing this fact, Lord Shiva immediately became very pleased, as apparent by the next verse. This indicates that a person who is not yet a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but who desires to serve the Supreme Lord, receives the benedictions of the demigods, headed by the chief demigod, Lord Shiva. Thus, a devotee of the Lord does not need to try to please the demigods separately. Simply by worshipping the Supreme Lord, a devotee can please all of them. Nor does he have to ask the demigods for material benedictions. For the demigods, being pleased with the devotee, automatically offer him everything that he needs. The demigods are servants of the Lord, and they are always prepared to help devotee in all circumstances. Therefore, Srila Bilva Mangala Thakura said that if one has unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Lord, the goddess of liberation is ready to serve him. To say nothing of the gods of material appearances. Indeed, all the demigods are simply waiting for an opportunity to serve the devotee. Thus, there is no need for a devotee of Krishna to endeavor for material appellance or liberation. By being situated in the transcendental position of devotional service, he receives all the benefits of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Thank you so much. Yes. So, as always I say, that this Srimand Bhagwatam is, kind of prescription, the way when we are sick, we go to doctor and we ask for that, I am going through this problems. So then the doctor will check and say, this syrup, this injection, this antibiotic you have to take, all that. So here also we are understanding, we have to understand now what kind of prescription here we are going to get. So very first it is, prior to, much before, prior to that we start devotional service, even before that, when we just desire or think, the demigods, now who are the demigods? I'm not specifically saying, Brahma, Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, Indra. Here, specifically, we will try to speak very practically. That is, we all are from different sectors, isn't it? When we say India or this or that, southern part, all that. So we have Kula Devta or Kula Devi, everybody, isn't it? Including me. Yeah. So they help us, we need not, specifically go and ask, oh, from Monday to Tuesday. Monday is for, Shiva to get good husband. Yeah. Tuesday, again, Ganapati. Wednesday, Buddha Devata. Thursday, Brahspati. Friday, Ma. Saturday, Shani Dev. Sunday, Arya, that is sun god. Separately, we need not do this. Now, this is not that only I am saying this here. Even when we read our scriptures, I mean, the very first thing we have to read is the manual. And what is our manual?
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita.
Very good. Excellent. So, if you have read Bhagavad Gita, in the 7th chapter itself, if we see in the 7th chapter, what is the title of the chapter? It says knowledge of the absolute. Now, I always say, Saturday we take in detail, Bhagavad Gita class mornings. So I always, tell them from the 7th chapter, that is, first chapter is nothing but, the Kauravas, Pandavas, what is the importance of the Shankha? Or because everybody has blown the Shankha. The very first shloka itself gives all the details about, because he says, Mamaka Pandavas, divide and rule. So, and then we also say the symptoms of what is the symptoms that we understand that the Pandavas are going to win. And then there are set of shlokas. Then there are 6 atyatat. That is the 6 aggressors. If we categorize any mistake in that aggressors, then we are likely to have death punishment. And then there is a set of shlokas where Arjuna is saying why he doesn't want to fight. And he's giving the set of reasons. And then the second chapter is nothing but the summarization of, I'm not this body, I'm soul. So what is body composition? What is soul composition? And then again, the set of shlokas which says, if you don't do this, then how knowledge is gone. If the knowledge is gone, how, anger diluted. And when anger is there, lust is there. Lust is there, then, you fall down. And when you fall down, everything is over. And then the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, it talks about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, isn't it? The 7th chapter to 12th chapter is like a Lord is giving his visiting card, saying that, listen, Arjuna, you're done. Who I am, where I am, what is my devotee, what you're supposed to, what you're not supposed to. So from 7th chapter to 12th chapter, it should be on the tip of a tongue. So somebody will say, 7th chapter to 12th chapter should be on tip of tongue. अरे हाथ में नहीं आया तो टिप में कैसा आएगा?
Jewel box, Mataji. 7th to 12th.
7th to 12th. Yes. 7, 9,
Jewel box, something they say.
10, 11, 12. So 10th and 12th, he's talking about who I am. What is I am empowered about. There's nothing that is not me. It is me, my opulences, and my universal form. Then 12th, Purushottama, isn't it? So it should be on tip of our tongue, but that doesn't happen. Why? Because we are not aware of. Now see, in the 7th chapter, knowledge of absolute, he is very clearly saying, in the 20th shlok, if you have seen, it says, those who, now when we talk about demigods and all, he says, those whose intelligence has been lost, stolen by material desire, surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worshipping according to their own nature. Why their own nature? Somebody lacks beauty, somebody lacks knowledge, somebody lacks, money, So accordingly, somebody only wants to worship Lakshmi, that Lakshmi garave, Sukha Sampati garave, Kashtamite tanka, yeah. So somebody wants to Vignaharta, only Ganesha, So it says, very clearly it is said, those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires. Because we are here and we are embodied, we want to enjoy here. Yeah. And then in the 30th text, again he says, those in full consciousness of me, who knows me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. And then what happens? In the 7th chapter, in the last shloka, he says, even at the time of death, that consciousness should be there. Then he tells in the 8th chapter, saying that, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevanam ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshaya. How you'll remember me at the end, and how I will able to give you liberation from this material body. Then 8.6, he says, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. That you have to smaran, you have to remember me. And then again, we will see in the 9th chapter, slowly, he is going and telling us, and then in the 9th chapter, which is the most confidential knowledge, 9th chapter, most confidential knowledge. And there he is telling us in the 7th that, O son of Kunti, at the end of millennium, all material manifestation enter into my nature. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. That means if we have desire of coming where you want to be, if you want to serve the Lord, then after this millennium is over, we are serving God after this body is gone. But if that desire is there, then we get merged, and then the creation happens, we come out and say, oh, okay, I wanted to be Prime Minister of so-and-so. Okay, struggle there. Struggle there then, yeah. Then somebody says, oh no, I wanted to be born in US. Okay, So as our mind consciousness, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam, and we have this beautiful story about, King Bharata, isn't it? Bharat Maharaj. And then in the same chapter, he says, engaging your mind always in thinking of me, becoming my devotee, offering obeisance to me and worshipping me, being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come back to me. So if we read the manual that what we have to do, how we have to do, what is the process of doing, if we imbibe those, then definitely we are attaining the Supreme and no in between. Yeah. So we are trying to understand in this, how come the question of, Maitreya asking that how come they could meet Shiva? So how they could meet Shiva? Because that's the reason I started the chapter with, the revision of what is their lineage. They are the followers and the descendants of Prithu Maharaj. And we know about Prithu Maharaj, who he was, how he was. And he has met Lord, and Lord has himself given him the instructions, isn't it? So to such, when you have the lineage, then these prachetas will definitely take the instructions of the father, and then what kind of penance they are coming and doing in the ocean. And yesterday's speaker has explained everything. So here they are trying to say that Lord Shiva is not approachable to anybody and everybody. But here, Lord Shiva comes himself. And why he is coming himself? Because it says, the one who desires to serve Supreme Lord receives the benediction of the demigods. What to talk about, anything else there? Yeah. So what is the practical understanding here? That how we have to get absorbed. within our circumstances. Though we are embodied, but still we can do. It's just not impossible. And it says, if we just desire, like for example, I'll give you just a small example. Every month, 2 Ekadashis we are getting. Prior to Ekadashi, just 1 or 2 days before, you just think in your mind, on this Ekadashi day, oh my Lord, give me sufficient time, give me some strength. I want to chant 64 rounds. And you will get up 3 o'clock and you say, why I got up today 3 o'clock? Lord himself has helped you. He gave you. So I'll share one more example with you all on this. Give me a minute.
Krishnamurti, among you attend other classes, any other classes on ICF?
No, she can't follow English, Mataji. So
Oh,
she used to attend Kannada classes. Bhagavatam is 7 to 8, there is a class in Kannada. Chaitanya Charitamrita also she is attending between 11 to 12 morning. That's also in Kannada.
Kannada Bhartana. Okay, no problem. So I was trying to give you a practical example. Once my husband, always I used to go to Vrindavan almost 2-3 times. So I told him, I said, see, I'm always praying to Srimati Radharani that you also must get the mercy and you must also, able to take darshan and, reach Vrindavan. And I don't know after that. So once finally, we took our Bhakti Vriksha devotees, almost 20 plus, and a few parents also came from India, and we had booked, one hotel, and we had booked one bus. We had all the arrangements, and we had one brahmachari for katha and kirtan. When we are getting down one by one, everybody, my husband says, "Oh, my chappal broke," and he is the last person to walk without chappals. So I said, my God, this is, oh Krishna, oh Radharani, what happened? So I said, don't worry. Now, can you manage? I will manage with somebody's chappals. He's holding me and saying, wait, I want to tell you something. I said, everybody's standing down now. What do you want to tell me? He said, no, I want to share with you. I said, what? You remember you told me 2-3 times whenever you went to Vrindavan that you went without footwear, and that was summertime and all that time. And then you told me that you have to pray to Radharani, to get mercy to enter Vrindavan, So I had prayed that even if I get opportunity to come to Vrindavan, I will be barefoot. Dear devotees, my husband must have told this, and there was so many years gap. But Lord is sitting within us. He immediately makes a note of it. We will forget. But he's thinking, Lord is thinking that it is my bhakta's desire. So I told him, I said, what made you say that you want to be without footwear? He said, you remember you said once, that in one of the lecture you have heard that, Vrindavan, Raman Reti, it's all that Lord has himself, his footprints are there. So we are so fallen soul. We should not put our footwears on it. So we must try as much as possible to be barefoot if possible, unless and until you're, with some, challenges. So he said, even I thought, okay, I will be without footwear. And he did all the parikramas without chappals. Yeah. So what is the point here? That Lord Shiva is, not only Lord Shiva, all our Kuladevata, Kuladevi, everybody will help us. They are eager. They are looking for the opportunity to help us to show the path towards the Lord. Yeah, this is their duty. They are the immediate servants to the Supreme Lord. And when they see that somebody has desire, they want to fulfill, they make that arrangements. Yeah. I have so many realizations. I'll keep sharing with you all. Yeah. And okay. So there is also, you know, the beautiful point. It says, indeed, all the demigods are simply waiting for an opportunity to serve the devotees. Yeah. So it says, you know, no need for us. That's the reason I'm saying no need of, you know, this vrata, that vrata, because they are, you know, they are here to support us, to help us. Yeah. Any question? Any doubt on this part? Can we move to next question? Next shloka? Thank you. Okay. So today, shloka reading is only for Amma. I hope nobody will mind, please. Yeah. So, yeah. She wants to read? Ya param rahasah saksha triguna jiva samyitat bhagavantam vasudevam prapanna sa priyo hime.
यः परं ब्रह्मसः साक्षात् त्रिगुणात् जीवसंज्ञितात् भगवन्तं वासुदेवं प्रपन्नः सप्रियो हि मे. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Oh my God, she's so happy, so happy. Yeah. Okay, who wants to read the translation? One can read the translation. Who wants to read the translation? Rohini, you
Hare
want to?
Krishna Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Shiva continued, any person who is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the controller of everything, material nature as well as the living entity, is actually very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Shall I read the purport or someone else?
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah. Please read the purport. Who's that? Giridhari Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Please.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now Lord Shiva explains the reason he has personally come before the princes. It is because all the princes are devotees of Lord Krishna, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.19. Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapatyate Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabam. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Lord Shiva is rarely seen by common men, and similarly, a person who is fully surrendered unto Vasudeva Krishna is also very rarely seen, because a person who is fully surrendered unto the Supreme Lord is very rare. Isha Mahatma Sudurlabha. Sir Mahatma Sudurlabha. Consequently, Lord Shiva came especially to see the Prachetas because they were fully surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudeva is also mentioned in the beginning of Srimad Bhagwatam. In the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Since Vasudeva is the ultimate truth, Lord Shiva openly proclaims that one who is a devotee of Lord Vasudeva, who is surrendered to Lord Krishna, is actually very dear to him. Lord Vasudeva, Krishna is worshipable not only by ordinary living entities, but by demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and others. Yam Brahma, Varunendra, Rudra, Marutah, Stunvanti, Divyai Stavaihi. Srimad Bhagavatam 12.13.1. Krishna is worshipped by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Varuna, Indra, Chandra, and all the other demigods. That is also the situation with the devotee. Indeed, one who takes to Krishna consciousness immediately becomes very dear to anyone who is simply finding out and beginning to understand what Krishna consciousness actually is. Similarly, all the demigods are also trying to find out who is actually surrendered to Lord Vasudeva, because the Prachita princes were surrendered to Vasudeva. Lord Shiva willingly came forth to see them. Shall I continue, Mataji?
Can I give others the opportunity, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Hare.
Thank you so much. So very few points here that we need to understand. It says, first of all, it says this shloka, why I have highlighted is actually very dear to me. Shiva is saying that those who are so dear devotees, the Rudra Geet that we say, actually starts from here. Now is the starting. So the very first is he says, from this we understand is Lord Shiva himself, wants, that we must, be into devotion towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And how we will do that service? When we will fully understand that He is the Supreme. That supremacy should be accepted whole and soul within our heart and mind, our intelligence. So he says, such person is actually very dear to me. So here we understand one more thing. If we say those people who don't understand that what is the difference between a Devata and the Supreme Lord, and then they feel hurt. Oh, how come my many of them, they have that we only worship so and so, and we have we don't want to serve anybody else, or we don't believe that somebody else is the supreme. So then it is not that we are trying to say, the scripture is saying, and that scripture is Lord Himself. He is saying aham sarvasya prabhu. He is not saying, oh, dash 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 people and then aham sarvasya prabhu. No, he is saying only aham sarvasya prabhu. Mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanita. So Lord Shiva is here explaining the reason. He has personally come before the princess. The reason is, he says, Bahunam Janmanamanti. That is, the shloka itself says, after many births and death, he who actually is with the knowledge, surrendering unto me, knowing me, the cause of all. That is, to the Supreme is Krishna. After many, many births, it takes many births, isn't it? Because Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschit Yatati Siddhai Yatatamabi Siddhana Kaschit Mamveti Tatvata. Out of 1,000 and 1,000 among men, hardly somebody will know. And out of that hardly, then somebody may know truth. Somebody may know his supremacy. Somebody will surrender. And then ultimately, how many will go to him? Maybe one or two. So he says, among that one or two, when they are gathering and they are coming further for the devotional service to the Supreme Lord, they are dear to me. Yeah. And he says, Lord Shiva is rarely seen by a common person. Anybody in the group has seen Lord Shiva? Yeah. So he says, what to talk about Lord Shiva? Even our Devi and Devata, family god and goddesses, if we are following them, has anybody seen? No. Because what happens is, there is some qualification there also required. Then what to talk about the Supreme? So the Prachetas are taking the devotional service to the Supreme Lord. That's the reason Lord Shiva is saying that you all are dear to me. And he's saying, Lord Shiva openly proclaimed that one who is devotee of the Lord Vasudev, who is surrendered to Lord Krishna, is actually very dear to me. So he's not getting angry. Come on. What are you people doing? I am also called Adi Deva, Trelokanath. I am also been called. So first follow me, then we will see, and then I will give you the ticket of following the Supreme Lord. No. So this point is to be understood. This is the first thing that he is saying, that all who are following the Lord is very, very dear to me. Yeah. Anybody interested to read further? Please come forward.
Shall I, Mataji?
Please, please.
Lord Vasudeva or Krishna described in Bhagavad Gita as Purushottama. Actually, he is the enjoyer Purusha and the supreme Uttama as well. He is the enjoyer of everything. The Prakriti and the Purusha being influenced by the three modes of material nature, the living entity tries to dominate material nature, but actually he is not the Purusha enjoyer, but Prakriti as described in Bhagavad Gita 7.5. Apareyam itasva
Aparemamitastvanya prakritim vidhi me para.
param. Thus, the jiva or living entity is actually Prakriti or the marginal energy, Supreme Lord, being associated with material energy. He tries to lord it over the material nature. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.7. Mahamam vamsho jiva loke jiva bhutah sanatanaha mama manah asasthanindriyani prakritisthani. The living entities is this in this conditions world world are maternal parental part, but due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. But shall I continue, Mataji?
Yeah, we will stop here. So here also we are trying to understand that Lord Vasudev or Krishna is described here as Purushottama. That is, he is the Uttama Purush. And there is, he is the enjoyer. He is the Purusha. And we understand the shloka, which says, that Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, Surdam Sarva Bhutanam Nyatva Mam Shanti Prichati. That anything that we are doing sacrifice, who is the enjoyer? Enjoyer is Lord himself. Yeah. So in this Prakriti, it says, in 7th chapter also it says, Aparayami Tastanya. That is, he says that there is Jiva, or we living entity. Actually, Prakriti, or we are marginal energy of the Lord. We are part and parcel of the Lord. Lord is not part and parcel of us. That we are enjoying work, we enjoyed, okay, we give you partial our enjoyment. No. Anything that we are doing, we have to surrender that to, and we have to pass it on to the Lord, because he is the Parama Purusha, or the enjoyer. Yeah, being associated with marginal energy, he tries to load it over material. This is confirmed again in 15th chapter, 7th shloka. He says, Mame Vamsho Jiva Loke. Mame, he says, my, y'all are all my amshas. Lord is saying, you Jiva Lokas are all my amshas. But what is happening? Because of your, six senses, which is including the mind. Chanchalami Mana, Krishna, aaj puja pe, kal duja pe. It keeps on jumping like a monkey. So it says, we are struggling. Why we are struggling? Because we are not following him properly. Why we are not following properly? I will again, summarize this 3 in detail again, if time permits, because I have one more shloka to do. So he says that my conditioned soul, due to this conditioned life. Why this conditioned life? Because the moment we come this material world, we are affected by 3 modes. Yeah. And in this 3 modes, what happens is the mode of ignorance is always higher. Then the second is passion or ignorance, passion or goodness. Because after a lot of struggle, when we come to the mode of goodness, there has to be understanding that this also we need not carry. Whatever we are doing, we have to just leave it, give it here. Otherwise, if we are carrying here and we carry, then we have to come back to enjoy that. That's the reason these seniors or the spiritual master will say, anything that you do, you have to surrender or pass it on to your guru or to Krishna. If we carry, I did it. Now Krishnamurti Prabhu says, my wife is sitting because she saw me sitting from morning to night. Yeah. Now she got attracted. Now she's sitting next to me. Now also I told her this. I. Huh? What is her endeavor? There is so much of work, but still she's sitting. Huh? So this I and my, we have to, raise our bar, and that will happen only when we are constantly absorbed into devotional service. That is very important. Yeah. Anybody interested to read? We have 3 more paras to go here. Yeah. Who wants to read? By endeavoring to dominate.
May I read, Mataji?
Please.
I'll read, Mataji.
Archana will read now. Yes, Archana.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. By enduring to dominate material nature, the living entity simply struggles hard for existence. Indeed, he struggles so hard to enjoy himself that he cannot even enjoy the material resources. Thus, he is sometimes called Prakriti or Jiva, for he is situated in the marginal potency. When the living entity is covered with the 3 modes of material nature, he is called Jiva Sabnita. There are 2 kinds of living entities. One is called Akshara and other is called Akshara. Shara refers to those who have fallen down and become conditioned, and Akshara refers to those who are not conditioned. The vast majority of living entity live in the spiritual world and are called Akshara. They are in the position of Brahman, pure spiritual existence. They are different from those who have been conditioned by three modes of material nature. Being above both Akshara and Akshara, Lord Krishna, Vasudeva, is described in Bhagavad Gita 15.18 as Purushottama. The impersonalist may say that Vasudeva is impersonal Brahman, but actually the impersonal Brahman is subordinate to Krishna as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 14.27, Brahmano hi Paristataham. That Krishna is source of impersonal Brahman is also confirmed in Brahma Samhita 5.40, Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanta Koti. The impersonal Brahman is nothing but the effulgence of or bodily rays of Krishna, and in those bodily rays there are innumerable universes floating. Thus, in all respects, Vasudeva Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and Lord Shiva is very satisfied with those who are completely surrendered to him. Complete surrender is desired by Krishna, as he indicates in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita 18.66, Sarma Dharman Parityajna Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Mataji, may I continue?
Yeah, it's only one para. You can, or anybody else wanted to? Ambika, you
Somebody-
want to?
Yes, Mataji, I can read.
Okay, Sindhu, read. There is one more shloka.
Last
Don't
paragraph, is it?
last para, yeah.
Okay, Haribol, purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The word Sakshat, meaning directly, is very significant. There are many so-called devotees, but actually they are only karmis and jnanis, for they are not directly devotees of Lord Krishna. The karmis sometimes offer the results of their activities to Lord Vasudeva, and this offering is called karmarpanam. These are considered to be fruitive activities, for the karmis consider Lord Vishnu to be one of the demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Because they consider Lord Vishnu to be on the same level with the demigods, they contend that surrendering to the demigods is as good as surrendering unto Vasudeva. This contention is denied herein because if it were true, Lord Shiva would have said that surrender unto him, Lord Vasudeva, Vishnu or Brahma is the same. However, Lord Shiva does not say this because he himself surrenders unto Vasudeva, and whoever else surrenders unto Vasudeva is very, very dear to him. This is expressed herein openly. The conclusion is that a devotee of Lord Shiva is not dear to Lord Shiva, but a devotee of Lord Krishna is very, very dear to Lord Shiva.
Yes, thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Mataji, thank you.
So we are trying to understand, as we were saying, this Mame Vamshoji okay? So the point here, we are trying to learn from this only is how Lord Shiva, he, we have to understand his, nature. He's so calm, he's so composed, So from him, we have to learn how a devotee has to be, how a Mahatma, how a Devata, they are having these qualities, because yesterday's speaker was also saying so many qualities, the honesty, the compassion, the calmness, the tolerance. And the best example of tolerance is Lord Shiva himself, in the society, if you have a leader, so one has to follow the leader, but there'll be somebody who will be opposing. No, don't follow them. So what will happen? There'll be a dispute. But why this dispute is because that other person who is obstacle to not follow the leader is because of that impurity or in him or enviness. This enviness, at the same time, if a Vaishnava culture is there, then they all come together. They say like a community, So here the point is we have to come together. This from Lord Shiva, we understand. We have to come together to form this community to pass on to our next generation the purity. Otherwise, this Kali Yuga is, it's going to take us to devastation, isn't it? So it says that Lord Shiva is the Parama Vaishnava. When we say he is always encouraging others to follow the Lord, he exhibits the qualities, himself. If we see, how many of you all have read or heard, Daksha's yagya? If you all remember, how many of you all must have heard it? Daksha's yagya. What happened? Who is Daksha? Daksha is Shiva's father-in-law. Because Lord Shiva has married Daksha's daughter. So in the yagya, when he went, in the first yagya, when he went, Lord Shiva is always in trance, he is meditating always upon the Lord. But Daksha took it as an insult that others are standing in my respect. Where were you? You purposely did not stand. Why? Because you're taking me as your father-in-law. That is at home. It is the other way around. Daksha is, not still come to the level of Shiva. He is still into the, that I am your father-in-law. I am Daksha Prajapati. So one has to stand for me. So, and we know the consequences. What has happened? The yagya got, disturbed. The whole of yagya got disturbed. And then the consequences were, known to everybody. What happened there? Nandi, it says that Nandeshwara, cursed the not only Daksha, but all the Brahmanas, saying that, you all will be bereft of the understanding of the Shastra and you will be all stuck with only the ritualistic karmakandi things. In return, what happened? Bhrigu, Bhrigumani, even he cursed, looking at Lord Shiva, and he said, I curse you, all your followers will be all, messed up and all will be having all the time, they'll be drunkards and they'll be all, near the bhutas and pisachas and ganja, and you all will be residing near the crematorium and all that. But end of the day, what is all this for? What we learn out of this? This was going on and on, but Prabhupada says, that Shiva was so calm in this all. Their followers are talking. Daksha is agitated, but Shiva is so calm, composed, quiet, and then slowly he gets up and he just walks away. And meantime, even the Daksha, when he's going out, everybody's saying, Are Baba, what happened to your yagya? You're supposed to do this yagya, He says, I don't want to do. And he walks away. But Lord Shiva, he's calm. In fact, he's asking Nandeshwara, why did you do all this? Was not required. Was not required. So when we, when all the practicing people, when as devotees, when we hear, we say, oh, we have to be like Lord Shiva. We have to imbibe these qualities. So why we read all this from Srimand Bhagwatam? For us to enlighten, the moment children are coming, and some guests have come in the other room, the children are making noise, we go and boil and we give taka to all them. We told you there are guests at home, don't make noise, don't do this, don't touch this, don't touch this. We get agitated in very small things. And then the children will say, how much hard you baked me? How much you shouted? What is the use of your doing all the time? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Yeah. So it says, actually, when we are practicing this, how we have to, that qualities have to come within us. Yeah. We have to imbibe also those qualities in our day-to-day life. So it says, in the last paragraph, when it speaks about, it says that one who engages in full devotional service, unfailingly in all circumstances, at once trans the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. This is what we need to understand from this part of shloka. Yeah. Okay, we'll go to the next shloka. Oh, Krishna. I will take, say, 10 more minutes because we started late. Yeah. So, 29th. Swadharmanishta shata janmabhi puman virenchatam eti tat param himam avyakritam bhagavato tatha vaishnavam padam yathaham vibhudhana kalatayaye. Yes, Krishnamurti Prabhu, you can tell her to read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Swadharmanishtaha shata janmabhihi puman virinchitaameti tataha paramimam अव्याकृतं भागवतो तत वैष्णवं पदां यथाहं विबुधा कलात्यये.
I am going to report this to ICF. We have got one more devotee. We have got one more devotee. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, now Kishori Devidasi Mataji, tame matso? You wanted to read?
हाँ माताजी जी
Please.
जी माताजी श्योर
Please.
हरे कृष्ण धन्यवाद प्रणाम माताजी शिला प्रभुपाद की जय ट्रांसलेशन एंड purport by Srila Prabhupada. A person who execute his occupational duty properly for 100 births become qualified to occupy the post of Brahma. And if he becomes more qualified, he can approach Lord Shiva. A person who is directly surrendered to Lord Krishna or Vishnu is in unalloyed devotional services immediately promoted to the spiritual planets. Lord Shiva and other demigods attain these planets after the destruction of this material world. Purport. This verse gives an idea of the highest perfection of the evolutionary process as described by the Vaishnava poet Jayadeva Goswami. Pralaya Payodhi Jale Dritvana Asi Vedama. Let us begin tracing the evolutionary process from the point of devastation, Pralaya, when the whole universe is filled with water. At that time, there are many fishes and other aquatics, and from these aquatics evolve creepers, trees, etc. From these insects and reptiles evolve, and from them birds, beasts, and then human beings, and finally civilized human beings. Now, the civilized human being is at the junction where he can make a further evolutionary progress in spiritual life. Here it is stated, Swadharma Nistaha. That when a living entity comes to a civilized form of life, there must be swadharma, social divisions according to one's work and qualifications. This is indicated in Bhagavad Gita 4.13. Chaturvanyam maya srishtam guna karma vipagasah. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. Mataji, should I carry on or somebody want to read?
Ambika, you want to read? Ambika?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'll read.
Hare Krishna. Yes, please read.
According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. In civilized human society, there must be the divisions of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, and everyone must properly execute his occupational duty in accordance with his division. Here it is described, Swadharma Nishtaha. That is, that it does not matter whether one is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. If one sticks to his position and properly executes his particular duty, he is considered a civilized human being. Otherwise, he is no better than an animal. It is also mentioned herein that whoever executes his occupational duty, Swadharma, for 100 births, for instance, if a Brahmana continues to act as a Brahmana, becomes eligible for promotion to Brahmaloka, the planet where Lord Brahma lives. There is also a planet called Shivaloka or Sadashivaloka, which is situated in a marginal position between the spiritual and material world. If after being situated in Brahmaloka, one becomes more qualified, he is promoted to Sadashivaloka. Similarly, when one becomes even more qualified, he can attain the Vaikuntha Lokas. The Vaikuntha Lokas are targets for everyone, even the demigods, and they can be attained by a devotee who has no desire for material benefits. As indicated in Bhagavad Gita 8.16, one does not escape material misery even if he is elevated to Brahmaloka. A Brahma, Bhuvanai,
Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna.
Bhuvanaloka. Similarly, one is not very safe even if he is promoted to Shivaloka because the planet of Shivaloka is marginal. However, if one attains Vaikuntha Loka, he attains the highest perfection of life and the end of the evolutionary process. Mam upate to Onteya Punar Janmanana Vidyate. In other words, it is confirmed herein that a person in human society who has developed consciousness must take the Krishna consciousness in order to be promoted to Vaikuntha Loka or Krishna Loka immediately after leaving the body. Yastva Deham Punarjanma Nehi Mameti Swarjana. Bhagavad Gita 4.9. A devotee who is fully in Krishna consciousness, who is not attracted by any other loka or planet, including Brahma Loka and Shiva Loka, is immediately transferred to Krishna Loka, Mameti. That is the highest perfection of life and the perfection of the evolutionary process.
Yes,
Hare
thank you
Krishna,
so
Mataji.
much, Hare Krishna. Yeah, we are trying to understand. Let's dive in detail about this. So this, no, Rudragi, this is the second instruction by Lord Shiva. So here Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing on evolutionary process that takes place, how after devastation. Yeah, we see the Matsya avatar that has happened, and we understand all the species, like from fish, to all the aquatic, then the birds, and then the other. So how in the hierarchy they are progressing furthermore under the mercy of the Lord himself. Yeah, the universe again begins. The human life is the junction where they again start progressing. There is a very beautiful book by one of the disciple of Srila Prabhupada after 30 years of practice, research. He wrote a book called Rethinking Darwin's Theory. Darwin Theory. Yeah, in the Darwin's theory, they said, all the monkeys who were on the branches, now, without the tail, they came down. How that is possible? Yeah. So Prabhupada gives one statement saying that, okay, if that is the case, if Darwin theory says, it's nothing but, human existence is nothing but the mixture of some chemicals, and the life comes to existence. So then Prabhupada says, that if somebody's father dies, why take to crematorium, do as a search, which chemical is absent there, try to figure it out, that put that chemical and make your father exist back again to the life. Yeah. So is that possible? No, that is not possible. What to talk about? Okay, this is tough. Then Prabhupada says, there is a huge tree which is cut, but still, the roots are there and some branches are there. The birds are still coming and sitting. There are little more, leaves are there or branches are there. So just check which chemical has made, is absent, that the tree has been dried up, So put that chemical and let it flourish again. So Prabhupada says this is nothing but, the rascal community who says, that, we are doing research. Even a green blade of grass, if dries up, we cannot bring that to existence. One blade of grass, what to talk about something else? The engineers, the scientists are just exploring and wasting so much of money of this, from people, out of tax and all that. They want to see how these, our body cells, how they are changing, how the skin has to be good, how this, there has to be a precautionary taken, It says, we are wasting our time here, what to talk if mother cow drinks, eats grass and gives milk. Tell some engineer or scientist, can you make a machine from one side you put green grass and the milk should come out? No, you can't do that. Because there is supremacy. There is a Lord who is doing this. And that's the reason that we say, Chaturvarnya Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. It is not Guna Janma Vibhagasha. A Brahmana's son cannot say, oh, I am Brahmana, sitting on the bed, eating and sleeping. Yeah, he has to have imbibed those practice and qualities also. So Lord has designed this society with Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Why? So that gradually, in a slowly and steady process of this class division, they can progress higher and higher and higher, and they can reach to Vaikuntha, Goloka, Why? Because just by doing some pious activities, and if they can only reach to Satyaloka or Brahmaloka or Indraloka, it's just some karmas we have accumulated. Once those are exhausted, we'll have to again come down to this karma bhumi, janma bhumi, this Mother Earth. And then from this is the junction where you'll have to again struggle for evolving yourself to the progress towards the higher planets. So this Darwin's theory doesn't help us. We Jiva Atmas are the Vamshas of that Param Atma. So in this, we are trying to understand according to the three mode of material nature and the work, prescribed to them. These four divisions of human society were to be created by the Lord, has to be practiced, but that is not happening. Why? It is very, very important to engage our mind, because it says empty mind is devil's house, isn't it? We say so because we are not engaging ourselves properly. We have to engage ourselves as per guna and karma. Because if that doesn't happen, what happens is we find we are into lust, we get attracted to lust, greed, anger, illusion, attachment. Krishna has designed this society in a proper hierarchy. So it says, even Brahma is saying, that Yasya prabhava prabhavato jagadanda koti koteshva ashesha vasudha vibhuti bhinna tad brahma nishkalam Ananta Shesha Bhuto. Why is saying? He says, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord. Translation says, whose effulgence is a source of non-differentiated Brahman. Mentioned in the Upanishad, being differentiated from the infinity of glories of the mundane universe, appearing as the individual, we see. So this limitation, limitless truth. This is a limitless truth. Again, when we talk about Lord Shiva, in Brahma Samhita itself, it says, Kshiyam yatha dadi vikara vishesha yoga, sanjayate nahi tatha pratigasti hetu, yaha shambhutam api tatham samupeti karyat, Govindamadi Purusha. Now, why is saying? It says, just as milk is transformed into curd by the act of a acid, isn't it? We need little drop of curd to add in the milk to make fresh curd. So it says, but yet the effect curd is neither same as nor different from it. Its cause is milk. So I adore the primeval Lord. Why is saying so? Because the Lord Shiva's existence is because of Krishna himself. When Vishnu, the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, when he glances over the material nature, the creation happens. For the existence of this creation, Lord Shiva is there. And then he is also assigned for devastation. And he is also assigned a section wherein the all ignorant, bhutas, pisachas, because it is very difficult for somebody to handle. But Lord Shiva has got that, he's got that so much of calmness within him that he's easily able to handle all this. So this is all the learning that we are taking. And now we have already learned the two understanding that we get from this two shlokas. That first is all who are following Krishna into devotional practice, he says they are all dear to me. And then he says how the hierarchy is maintained. So Lord has maintained this hierarchy, but now in this Kali Yuga, it is becoming haywire. That's the reason we find the disturbance everywhere. So the learning for us, Srila Prabhupada is trying to say here that we have to respect even the Devi and Devatas because of their penance, that they are assigned that post for us to have easy and shortcut existence, access to the Lord, the Supreme. And that's the reason they are there to help us in every step. So that's the take for today from these shlokas? Anybody has any doubt, any question, please?
Mataji, that in that no, kshara means fallen down and conditioned, and
Yes.
akshara means not conditioned was mentioned. So this akshara is also fallen down, but that is also fallen down?
No, what happens is these two, one are fallen down and one are in the spiritual planet. See, it is written, no, they are in the higher planets. But you know what? See, these Devi and Devatas, they sometimes feel so good about us that from here itself, when we are into devotion, we are directly able to aim ourselves to worship the Lord in Vaikuntha. Whereas these Devi and Devatas, only after the devastation happens, they are able to approach the Lord. Not before that, because they are assigned these positions. They cannot. It's like, the CEO of the company has given a post, HR, finance handling, So the newcomer for interview, they can approach the CEO. But every now and then, the HR and all that, they cannot, because unless and until the order comes to him, So this is how we have to understand that we are all still lucky to approach the Lord, to aim for devotion and serve him in Vaikuntha. Yeah. I want to take one very nice photo. If everybody can, on your video, 1 minute, only 1 minute, because one frame is very cute. So I don't want to miss that. Yeah, only for